It is Thursday, September 19th, currently at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you are listening to 101.1 KPPM Radio Cascadia. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, I'm Jonny Kidney, joining you on this fantastic day before our beloved Cascadia turns 10 years old. Let's take you quickly over to Emily Lazatin to check in on the traffic.
Hi everyone, we've got some delays in traffic today. Burnaby Lake stretch to Highway 1 is once again busy. Let me know if there's a problem west of Glardy. I'm seeing a lot of vehicles bumper to bumper around that bend, and the HOV lane is moving, but the other two lanes have come to a stop. It's either an HOV lane check that's causing people to slow down and quickly merge back into regular lanes, or there's a stall or crash. But give me a call at star 888 and let me know. Further along through that Burnaby Lake stretch, it eases off towards Kensington, and Willingdon is steady. Portman, Patello, and Alex Fraser northbound 91 is fine. Nordell is still busy down the hill, and the Queensboro is still seeing some volume around Stewartson. Massey Tunnel is now running 2 lanes in each direction. Northbound is flowing smooth, and southbound is easing off just around Mylora. In South Surrey, there's a crash on 24th, just east of King George. It's causing delays in both directions. There's a crash in Burnaby as well on Canada Way westbound on Beta, which is east of Willingdon, and that is blocking the left lane. Camy Street Bridge is backed up, as there is road work on the downtown side. If you're heading downtown, use the Granville Bridge or Georgia Viaduct instead. Further along I-5 south towards Bellingham, a truck that overturned earlier in the day is in the last stages of cleanup. Expect some delays as cleanup crews are finishing up. Other than that, I-5 is looking smooth once you pass Bellingham heading into Linwood. Fares are looking fairly good today. Tsawwassen and Horseshoe Bay are all on schedule, but you're looking at a 20 to 30 minute delay if you're heading to Seattle from Victoria on the 2 p.m. Clipper. That's your traffic report for the top of the hour. I'm Emily Lazatin.
Thank you, Emily. And don't forget to call in to tell Emily if you encounter any more traffic problems. But please remember to safely have your bike pulled over and your feet safely on the ground. Can you believe that we have evolved and surmounted beyond all the naysayers as much as we have over the past 10 years? A lot has happened since Cascadia's conception. And here's a look at what's happening right now. To fill you in, here's Simon Little with your 3 o'clock news headlines.
Good afternoon. For Radio Cascadia, I'm Simon Little with your news update. The co-owner of Gort's Gouda Cheese Farm in Salmon Arm has tearfully apologized for contamination linked to the death of one customer and the illnesses of 11 others. Kathy Wickerink says she still has no idea how E. coli contaminated product from her small cheese farm. Dr. Rob Parker of the Interior Health Authority confirmed today that the death of an elderly woman this summer was a result of eating cheese from the farm.
I was able to follow up with the family physician of the IH resident who had died back in August and went through the medical charts, and that person did die primarily of their E. coli infection.
The name and age of the victim have yet to be released. Parents around the province can breathe a sigh of relief today following a last-minute deal between the BC support workers and their employers, averting a strike that could have hit schools as early as Monday. The BC Public School Employers Association and QPBC, which represents the majority of affected workers, say they've tentatively agreed to a 3.5% wage increase spread over 2 years. The agreement is yet to be ratified by the union, who've been working without a contract for over a year. Education Minister Peter Fassbender says negotiations weren't easy and that the wage hike will have to be funded from savings made elsewhere in the school districts. The deal expires next June, and QP spokesman Bill Pegler says the union will be back at the bargaining table this spring. Outgoing NDP leader Adrian Dix is back in the news just a day after announcing he'll step down once the party chooses a new leader. In an address to delegates at the Union of BC Municipalities Convention, Dix said that his party needs a major overhaul, but not at the cost of becoming a second Liberal Party. Dix says changes to the party should not drive it towards the centre, but rather that the NDP should stick to its core principles while developing new policies and holding the governing Liberals to account. To Oregon now, where 5 people were arrested today after a brazen protest saw 2 of them dangle by ropes from the top of the state capitol. The group, who allegedly posed as tourists to gain access to the building, were protesting the clear-cutting of Elliott State Forest. Jason Gonzalez, a spokesman for the group, Cascadia Forest Defenders, said that they were prepared to go to jail to get their message to the public. Police say charges have been pressed against members of the group, including disorderly conduct, criminal trespass, and reckless endangerment of another person. The main entrance to the Capitol was reopened by noon, but tours were cancelled for the rest of the day. On a more somber note, baseball fans across the nation today mourn the passing of former Nintendo president and Seattle Mariners owner Hiroshi Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi died in a Japanese hospital of pneumonia at the age of 85. The Japanese icon made history with his 1992 purchase of the club as the first foreign owner of a Major League Baseball team. Former state senator Slade Gorton today gave Yamaguchi credit for saving baseball in Seattle. telling reporters, when no one else would stand up and purchase them, and they were about to leave to go to Florida, he did, simply as a civic gesture. Yamaguchi sold his interest in the team to Nintendo's US division in 2004 for health reasons, but remained involved in team decision-making until his death. I'm Simon Little, and I'll be back with more Radio Cascadia news in half an hour.
Thank you, Simon. And just as soon as the skates were hung up for the summer, they've already been sharpened and laced up for another season soon underway. Here's JR with the latest on sports.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
Sorry to say, we're starting on a real downer here, Jonny. The Canucks were outmatched by the Edmonton Oilers last night, losing 4-1. Jordan Eberle opened up the floodgates on Roberto Luongo with a lazy wraparound less than 5 minutes into the game, with another 3 just tumbling into the net one after another over the next 8. Rookie Brendan Gauntz scored her only goal less than a minute after their 4th, his 2nd of the preseason. Defense was really phoning it in, Oilers goalie Devin Dubnyk saying that nobody could have stood up to that many shots on goal without at least some kind of backup. Zipping across the continent, the Winnipeg Jets host Minnesota, and the Maple Leafs visit Ottawa tonight. It's a home debut for the Senators' new center Bobby Ryan, who used to play for the Leafs coach Randy Carlyle back when Carlyle coached the Anaheim Ducks. Not all hope is lost on the home front, though. The Mariners shut out the Detroit Tigers last night 8-0. Through his translator, pitcher Hisashi Iwakuma told us it was his best game of the season, which is high praise coming from a normally modest pitcher. Gutierrez led off the massacre with a 3-for-5 home run and a double. Smoke went 2-for-3 with a home run and 2 RBIs, and Saunders put the final nail in the coffin with a pair of doubles. We'll be finishing up the set in Detroit tonight. If we lose, Detroit will be one step closer to wrapping up the American League Central Championship. Elsewhere, the Cardinals topped the Pirates by 2 games in the National League Central. The Dodgers blew a chance to clinch the National League West, losing to Arizona. The Braves now have a magic number of 2 to wrap up the National League East, and the Rays have a full game lead over the Rangers in the American League wildcard race. Over to golf, the big money's on the line in the FedEx Cup competition starting today in Atlanta at the East Lake Golf Club. Tiger Woods, Henrik Stenson, Zach Johnson, and Matt Johnson are all equally likely to fly home with the $10 million prize. Brandt Snedeker won last year, pulling in just over $11 million, $1.4 for the tournament victory and $10 million for the Cup title. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Go play a game of golf, drive home in a new Ferrari. If you're in Portland or Seattle this weekend, don't forget to pick up soccer tickets. The Sounders will be facing LA Galaxy, and the Timbers will be up against the Colorado Rapids. Back to you, Jonny.
Thanks, JR. I'm sorry, but golf just isn't my game. A bit too intense for me. If only my last book generated this much success, I'd be, well, a little more relaxed. The 5th installment of the video game Giant recently hit the shelves like a tidal wave. Here's Andy Lau with more on what's fresh in entertainment.
Grand Theft Auto V has shattered worldwide records. Rockstar Games' latest installment in the Grand Theft Auto series earned more than $800 million on its first day of release. It now holds the record for the biggest launch of any entertainment property, including music and movies. The previous record holder was Activision's first-person shooter game, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It made $500 million at launch. Thousands of Cascadians lined up early to pick up their copies at midnight. Hollywood star George Clooney has been surprising fans all week by visiting bars around Vancouver. The TV star turned movie icon was seen posing for pictures with fans downtown. He is here filming Tomorrowland with host actor Hugh Laurie. Country star Tim McGraw is expected to join the cast next week. Clooney is scheduled to shoot scenes for the Disney film at UBC. It is slated for a December 2014 release. A traditional Chinese painting was sold for $241,000 at a Maynard's auction in Vancouver yesterday. The selling price was double the pre-auction estimate. The ink scroll painting by Guan Shanyu was the biggest draw of Maynard's sale of antiques and international art. Other highlights include a 19th century White House autograph book and a 70-million-year-old Triceratops skull. The auction brought in more than $900,000 from 568 lots. Back to you, Jonny.
Thank you, Andy. Our progression of North American leading environmental sustainability, our level-headed urban planning and vibrant, heavily sought-after governing with which most cities are envious of and hopelessly trying to mimic, I, for one, am happy with the overall state of our sublime, esoteric utopia. Our conscious lifestyle and enthusiastic approach of the abundance of melancholy that fills the surreal surroundings we call home. People, let's take this day to remember then and now. Let's stop and just take it all in. Look around you, soak up the richness of what you are enthralled in. Smile and nod at your next passerby. Perhaps even make a few more friends today. Catch the vibe of the city energy and let your mood unwind until you just don't have a care in the world. Just for today, don't let anything bother you. Enjoy yourself today. And it looks like a wet one out there. So I hope everyone brought their umbrellas. Here's Emily Lazatin with your current weather.
Well, Jonny, with only 3 days left of summer, we're all hoping for more sun, but the chances of those nice warm rays coming out is slim heading into the fall season. It's a cloudy Thursday with fairly subtle changes moving into the afternoon. It's dry in most areas so far, a bit on the mild side with temperatures climbing upwards of 18 degrees. Rain comes towards the end of the day, then it's wet through the night and a low of 6. As we head into the weekend, your Friday forecast calls for cool and unsettled clouds and some sunny breaks with a high of 17 during the day. Of course, by day's end, it will start to rain and it does cool down quickly for your Friday night as it tapers down to 10 degrees. Clouds and showers make up your Saturday forecast, a high of just 16, and then it's wetter and windier on Sunday with periods of rain and a high of 17, so you might want to grab that trusty umbrella of yours. If you're heading through Blaine or Linwood this weekend, expect similar temperatures with stronger winds. Much like Vancouver, you want to keep that umbrella close to you as short windstorms are anticipated throughout the weekend. Looking further down to the Oregon coast, a bit of a break for those of you heading that direction with some nice sunny breaks on Saturday and Sunday and highs reaching of 19. It's now 18 at the airport, 22 in the valley, and downtown Vancouver, 18 degrees. In the Cascadia Weather Center, I'm Emily Lazatin.
Oh boy, that does sound like a wet one. Thank you, Emily. Thanks for listening to 101.1 Radio Cascadia, and as always, I'm Jonny Kidney. And I just want to leave you with beautiful singer-songwriter Hannah Georges, who is a new transplant to Cascadia, and she now calls home. And this is her latest song, Enemies. Keep cool, Cascadia.
We're in a sea full of sharks.